Hi everyone, welcome to another interesting episode of Thriving as a Nigerian in the UK with Chika. Last week, we basically discussed the meaning of IELTS. We gave you a preamble about what IELTS is all about, and we gave reasons why most immigrants who intend to travel to the UK on a long-stay visit are often required to sit for IELTS, and lots of other interesting aspects of IELTS that you needed to know. So if you haven't watched the first episode, I plead with you to stop this one here. I'm going to leave the link in the comment section. Click on the link, it's going to take you to the first episode. Watch the first episode because it's going to serve like kind of an underlying basis of all you need to know about IELTS even before you decide to register for the exam. So I'm going to leave the link in the comment section, and once you finish watching it, you can come back and continue to watch this one. Before I go further, I'll first of all like to welcome my amazing subscribers, my social media followers, both the old and the new. I'm truly grateful that you actually trust in me, that you always come here, tune in to listen to me, and I'll always promise you that you will never regret that. You're going to acquire a wealth of knowledge that will put you in the right position to advise your loved ones on the best way to go about their visa application, especially if they intend to travel to the UK. And I also want to say that you all contribute to boost my weekly energy, and I look forward to reading your comments in the comment section. So today, our main focus of today we'll be exploring all options that ensure a successful outcome of IELTS exam. So come with me, I'm going to list so many topics I've lined up today for us to deliberate about, so that you know better about sitting for your exams, either before you decide to write your exam, or even if you've already registered before now. Knowing this will help you to prepare you for the exam that is forthcoming. Let's go. So today we shall be discussing the current cost of booking your test. How much is going to cost you roughly to book any of your tests? Different tests cost differently. Remember I said there's a paper-based IELTS and there's computer-based IELTS, and that's the reason why you need to go back and watch our first episode and know all these things. Another topic we're going to discuss today would be the latest approved test scores for each visa route and the meaning of those test scores, right? Another topic we're going to discuss today would be the necessary documents, as approved documents you should be using to book your test online, and this document will also be presented on the day of the test, otherwise you'll be denied from taking your test. Then lastly, I'll take you through the website, the right british.org website, britishcouncilieltsreading website, where you will book your test. And that's it. These are the things we're going to discuss for today. So let's quickly go to the cost of taking your test. So for you to book your test, you need to know how much it's going to cost you to book your test to help you make adequate preparations. All right. So for instance, if you intend to book a test, an IELTS test on computer, right, for academic and general training, it's going to cost you 266,000 naira to book the test. If you intend to book for IELTS exam on paper, remember the first one was for computer, that's computer-based one. This one is on paper for the same category, which is academic and general training. I think academic has to do with people who wants to travel to the UK either for educational pursuit. It's going to cost you 256,500. The first one was 266,000 for computer-based, and the second one is 256,500. So the difference between this category of test for the paper-based and computer-based is roughly 9,500. Now, if you want to book for IELTS for academic for UKVI, either paper-based or computer-based, is going to cost you the same, which is 285,000 naira. For academic, for UKVI, either paper-based or computer-based, is going to cost you 285,000 naira. Now, if you want to book for a test for general training for UKVI, either paper-based or computer-based, the first one, the third one I mentioned about was for academic. This fourth one is for general training. It's going to cost you 285,000 naira. So in this category, either you want to book for paper or for computer-based, you're going to pay the same. Now, the last kind of test, category of test, is IELTS life skills. There's A1 and B1, and both of them, if you decide to book for both of them, it's going to cost you 249,000 naira. So these are the costs associated with each visa, with each IELTS exam. Another important topic we should be discussing today that will ensure a successful outcome of your IELTS exam are the test scores. Now, when you receive your result certificate as a candidate, you will notice that there are individual scores. Like, for instance, you sat for 4 different types of exam, which are reading, writing, speaking, and listening, right? You will have individual scores for all of them. And there's another one category called band score, and there's another category called CEFR level. So if you receive your certificate, you're going to see all of this. Let me first of all start by explaining to you the meaning of your individual scores. Your individual scores are graded from 9 being the highest to 0 being the lowest. Let me take you through the 10 of them. So if you score 9 in any of the tests, it means you have an expert knowledge of that test, of that category, right? If you score 8 in any of the tests, it means you're very good in that category. If you score 7, it means you're good. If you score 6, it means you're competent in that exam test. If you score 5, it means you're modest. Modest simply means moderate. If you score 4, it means you're limited in that knowledge. You're limited in the knowledge of English language. Actually concentrating more on a language called English. There are other language exams like, French and the rest, okay? We are concentrating more on English because our own aim is for that of people trying to migrate to the UK. Now, if you score 4, like I said, it means you're limited. You have a limited knowledge. You all know the meaning of limited. And if you score 3, it means you're extremely limited. And that's where the problem comes. Most of them, I'm not saying yes, there are some that accept minimum of 5 and there are some accept minimum of 6, but I'm saying that they hardly accept scores less than 4. Because you see the meaning, from the meaning or the indication, it means that you have a very limited knowledge of that language, and that's why they hardly accept that score, that test score. Now, if you have to, it means you're intermittent. You have a very little knowledge of English language. And if you have 1, that's if you score 1, it means you're a non-user, that you don't even speak English. If you score 1, it's that you don't even speak English. And if you score 0, it means that you were absent on the exam day. It means that you were absent on the exam date. Another important part of your IELTS exam scores that you usually see on your certificate, IELTS exam certificate, is the band score. So the band score simply means the average of all your individual scores. What do I mean by average? Average simply means, when you total everything, that's the total number of your individual scores divided by the number of exams that you took, maybe number of subjects. So assuming you took reading, writing, speaking, listening. That's 4. So that means that you took 4 tests, right? And each of them you scored 5. So the total of four of them will be 20. Your band score will be 20 divided by 4, which will be 5. And assuming you did not score whole numbers in all of your test scores, probably maybe in one you scored 4.5, 6.5 or thereabout. And when you total them and divide by the total number of, it's the same average, total number of tests that you scored, then there will be a whole number and there will be a decimal point. So the other part will be rounded up to the nearest half. That's how band score is calculated. There's another category you're going to see in your score, in your certificate, which is called CEFR, which simply means Common European Framework of Reference for Languages. So I think it was first of all launched in 2001 and adopted only in the context of languages, for different countries trying to test either their candidates or their immigrants on the level of understanding of that particular language. So they decided to have this framework of reference known as CEFR level. You will see that on the next slide. I'm going to show you a typical example of how your IELTS test, IELTS certificate looks like. Let me show you in the next slide so that you will understand what I'm talking about. Let's go. So this is your example. I just saw this on the internet and I downloaded it. I tended to to block the face of the owner of the certificate so they don't sue us. All right. So what will happen is, look at this. This is a typical example of how your certificate looks like. So for instance, this candidate took sat for academic category of, remember I said there's general category and there's academic category, and there's also a life skill. Okay, so this candidate obviously sat for academic, and you can see that here there's academic here, and the date, the center name, that's the center number, sorry, the date, the candidate number. Okay, like I said, don't worry, in the next topic we're going to be discussing the required documents that you need to present on the day of your exam, and this document will also be used. You're supposed to use it to book your test so that you don't make any mistakes, so that you don't get denied from taking the exam. All right, now, so this the certificate shows the name, the family name of the candidate, the first name, the candidate number, the date of birth. This date of birth must not be tampered with. It has to match exactly with the document, the identity document you're going to present, which I'm going to say, like I said, I'm going to discuss in the next topic. Okay, and this is the sex. If you say you're a boy, you should be a man there, and the scheme code. All right, so let's just go straight. The country name, nationality, first language, other, in Nigerian. So these are the individual test scores I talked about. Like for instance, this candidate, sorry, I'm always using customer, maybe because I'm a business person. So I'm so sorry about that. Okay, slip of tongue. And this candidate obviously scored 4.5 in listening, 4.5 in reading, 5.5 in writing, and 7 in speaking. So the overall band score here, you can see, is 5.5, and this is the CEFR level I was talking about, and he scored, I think he was graded B2 in it. All right, so this is how your test certificate will look like. Let's keep listening. So another topic we should be discussing today should be the required document you need to present, or first of all, you need it to book your test. Is after booking your test, you still present the same topic, the same document on the day of your test. Like I said, if there's any kind of deviation, you're not going to sit for that exam. Let me explain. First of all, there's something that is called identity theft. These people here, and of course, no one loves identity theft. What do I mean by identity theft? It simply means you claiming whom you're not. And you might be right, But the people you're telling you're not are looking at a particular document where you have already stated that you're this, and you're telling them a different thing. First of all, in any of your documents you want to use, there is something that is called consistency. If you know that the identity documents you want to use has, for instance, my name is Chika Uwai, my first name is Chika, my middle name is Eukaria, and my last name is Uwani, right? Now, if I go to my surname and put Chika, and go to my last name and put Uwani, sorry, if I go to my surname, that's my last name is the same thing as surname, and put Chika, and go to my first name and put Uwani, they will tell you, they will say that's identity theft, that's not you. They don't know what they're talking about, and they don't know what you're talking about. That's not you. So always ensure that you see the surname or you see last name, go and put your surname there. If you see where they say put your first name, go and put your first name there. If they see where they say, do you have any middle name? And you have a middle name, go and put those middle name. And make sure that identity document you're going to present also have all these names stated as exactly as you're putting them on the paper. What are the identity documents that are officially accepted? For instance, your international passport. They accept international passport, and if there's a mistake in your name, maybe a variation of name in your international passport, and you don't want to answer those names during your visa application, because any name you use on your visa application is going to be used here in the UK. All right, please go and sort yourself out first. Go and make all those corrections, come back and ensure that you have everything right in place and you're not mixing up things, right? Another thing is your date of birth. In this identity document, maybe international passport, national driver's license, make sure that you have the same date of birth that you intend to use on your exam day, as you have registered them on the website. That's during your registration. Everything. If you were born on the 16th of October, please do not make a mistake and put 6th of October and you think that, oh, you tell them, oh, are you beaten one, they're going to accept it. They're not going to accept it. They're not going to accept it. All right? Make sure you go back, correct everything, then come back. And any of those identity documents you're using must have your most recent passport on it. Not a passport whereby maybe you were too dark in that passport and all of a sudden you must have bleached yourself, or you would have changed, or maybe weather would have darkened you, and they're straining their eyes to see exactly whom you are on the passport. They will start doubting you and you wouldn't like that. Even your anxiety might come in, might kick in, and if you go for your test and you start having problems because your mind is not settled. You need to settle all these things in advance before going for your exam. Another thing is there should be your signature on the identity document. For instance, your international passport has your signature. That signature is the same signature you're going to use on your biometric on the day of your test, and that's the same signature you're going to use on your visa application, on the interview date, and you continue. Please stop changing things. If you don't have a steady signature, if I were you, practice few times, decide on which particular official signature you should be using. Like for me, this signature I'm using today, I've used it all my life. I'm not really good at changing things, and that's it. So be guided, my loved ones. Be guided, right? And that takes us to the final topic of today, which is for me to show you how to book your test online and the accredited website for booking your IELTS exam. Now, please do not quote me wrong, all right? I need to explain this here. There are so many accredited websites, right? which you can book your test, and they're legit. But remember, we are in the era of internet fraud, right? You should be extremely careful, because this cost, this money you're going to spend to book your test are close to $500,000. You shouldn't play with it. You need to be extremely careful on the website you want to book your test, and make sure that you're doing the right thing, right? To avoid stories that touch the heart. So I'm going to show you in the next slide how to book for your test, especially if you're in Nigeria. It's pretty the same for everywhere you are. As long as you want to, anywhere you want to take the exam. Maybe you might want to take the exam in Ghana. You could just go to the website and type IELTS Ghana, and it's going to bring up for you maybe British Council in Ghana, branch in Ghana, their website, and you book your test. So please come with me. Let me teach you how to book your test online. So I'll show you how to book your IELTS test in Nigeria. To book your test, you have to open any browser of your choice and type IELTS registration Nigeria. If you click enter, it will take you to this window. So this page, you're going to search for British Council Nigeria. Remember, if you're booking from Nigeria, you need to make sure that you're seeing Nigeria here. If you're booking from any other country, you could search for either IELTS registration, your country name here. And when you're searching, you make sure you're seeing British Council, your country, right? So you have to click on this first link, which will take you to this page. This page, you scroll down and you will see different types of tests, the cost is going to, what it's going to cost you to take the test, and how to find your date. Alright, if I were you, read through these types of tests on the first column and make sure that you're actually trying to book the right test. So assuming you want to book for a test for the IELTS on computer, academic, and general training, you just go to the last column, which is the third column, and click find a test date, which will take you to a window where you will see, you'll be able to read through and understand and make a choice on any kind of test you want to. So assuming you want to book a test for IELTS academics, this academic simply means people who want to further their education, either to do a postgraduate, or people who wants to do their first degree, maybe as an undergraduate, and as you can see, or people who are trying to join a professional organization anywhere in the world. You simply click this arrow by the side, which will take you to another window. Here, it's going to ask you, which city would you like to take your test? So we have different cities. We have one even in Abuja, Lagos, Ondo, Enugu, Port Harcourt. So depending on the city where you're residing, you choose your city. So assuming you intend to write your test in Abuja, so you have to select Abuja, and that's it. It will take you through the right steps, everything you need to know before you book your test. Thank you, and let's keep listening. So let me take you through on how to make your selection, alright? So once you're on this window saying find a test, you have to select your test center, Abuja, and if I were you, double check again to make sure that it was the actual center, that's the city where you would like to take your test, that was being shown to you. So if everything is good, it's okay. What you have to do is, do you have a disability? To be asking if you have a disability. And if you do have a disability, like if you require a wheelchair or something else, or maybe hearing whatever, you can just check this box, and it's going to ask you, which special arrangement do you need on the test? you have to make a selection. Would you want enlarged print test papers, Braille test papers, amanuenses, and the rest? I actually don't know the meaning of all this, what all these things means, but you have to read through, and you should be conversant with whatever writing aid you would require on your testing day. Okay. And you choose. If you don't have any disability, you just uncheck this again, all right? And you'll be able to choose. I'll be asking you here, what kind of test format would you like to go for? Do you mind going for computer or paper-based, or you don't mind? So if you choose you don't mind, this will show it to say once your retake is not available. So this is not available. So if I were you, just choose either computer-based. Like I said, computer-based comes out between 3 to 5 days, whereas paper-based comes out in 18 days, right? So assuming you're choosing for computer-based, you scroll down again, you keep scrolling down, and it will be asking you, when would you like to take your test? You need to choose your date. Or do you want to choose the dates being shown to you? Show me all dates available. Do you want them to show you all dates available? If I were you, I'll go for all dates available so that you don't waste your time. And you click on search for test. But if you have any date in mind, you can still do that, and you still search for test and be able to make a selection. So this window will pop up, and you will see change speaking schedule, change speaking schedule. I mean, you go through all these very well, one by one, and make sure that you're making the right selections, right? And that's it. That's pretty it on how to book your IELTS exam. Let's keep listening, okay? And that brings us to the end of today's so many topics that we listed we're going to be discussing. But in our usual manner, before we go for today, let's have a quick recap of what we've been discussing. First of all, I explained to you the rough estimate of what you're going to spend in registering for your exam, which was between 249,000 to 285,000, right? I also went ahead to explain to you the meaning of individual test scores, your band score, the CEFR level. I explained that to you. I even showed you a typical example of how your test certificate is going to look like. Then I went further to tell you the identity document, approved identity document you should be submitting on the day of your exam. And this is the same document you would have used to book your registration online. And finally, I took you through how to the right website to book your test and how to book your test online. And that's it. That's exactly what we had today. So in our next episode, we shall be discussing visa application. I know a lot of people will be interested in this. Please bring your loved one, invite them, and hold on there. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please click the button and subscribe. Go to our Facebook, subscribe. Go to our Instagram and click follow and follow us. Leave a comment in the comment section. Tell us, how do you feel about today's episode? And what other topic would you want us to discuss in the future? In our next discussion, we'll be discussing visa application. I know a lot of people will be interested in that. We'll be explaining to you the best way to make your visa application, the mistakes I made, and how I learned from my mistakes. And since then, I've never failed to get any visa application. Any visa I put my hand in goes straight. I'm going to be explaining that for you and this is where we're wrapping it up for today. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye, and do not forget to subscribe to our channel. Thank you.